Good morning, Jubilants. Sounds like it's working, right? No. Okay. No? No. It's on.
It's fine. Just go.
Okay. Well, I am honored to be standing in front of you with introductory remarks about our topic of the day, honoring diversity. It's a topic I have spent most of my life thinking about, to tell you the truth. My grandparents were all Jewish refugees from Eastern Europe who made it to the United States before the First World War. Their relatives who stayed in Europe ended up mostly killed by the Nazis in the Holocaust. My paternal grandparents settled in the small city of Elyria, Ohio, where they raised my dad and his siblings. My dad was a Purple Heart combat veteran of the Second World War who mostly kept his anti-war sentiment to himself. Like most Jewish people of his generation, he was strongly pro-Israel, but I can just about guarantee he would not be pleased by the actions of the past 24 hours by the current U.S. administration in bombing Iran. I grew up in the southern, more rural part of Lorain County, Ohio. There were a handful of Jewish kids, mostly relatives of mine. There were 2 handfuls of black kids, a couple of Italians and Puerto Ricans. Midview High School class of 1970. Last time I was there a few years ago, it was still in a cornfield, or maybe it was soybeans. The biggest student club was Future Farmers of America, the FFA. That's my background. Anyhow, in spite of the student body being overwhelmingly white and Protestant with families who had long been in the United States, I grew up highly sensitive about the need of all people for respect. The civil rights movement had a huge influence on me. Also, every Sunday afternoon, I listened on my transistor radio to a folk music program out of Cleveland, which gave me a broader perspective. Any of you from Northern Ohio? WHK, Color Channel 14, remember? AM radio, right? They were great. Anyhow, most of the kids I grew up with were racist, anti-Semitic, anti-Catholic, and anti-hillbilly, to use the term they used. Really, the biggest minority in my high school were kids from West Virginia and Tennessee, including my boyfriend, Eddie Burgess, from Crossville, Tennessee, and his many cousins. When I went off to college in September of 1970, I immediately made friends from much more diverse backgrounds. My black roommate, Zoe C. Maxwell, Catholic-raised daughter of educated professionals. Yusuf Akhtarzad, who was a Jewish Iranian. Hassan Fadlallah, a Lebanese Shiite who grew up in Nigeria. That was the boyfriend my parents liked best, by the way. Oddly enough, that's a whole story. I was fortunate to end up with a career teaching history, mostly world history at AB Tech. Maybe some of you were my students. I hired Portia. That was the start of her career at AB Tech. It was a great job for me at AB Tech, and I got to think about difference all the time. Let us remember, in spite of difference in color, ethnicity, social status, etc., 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 at heart, we are all of us human beings. Let us set the example of treating all others with respect, as we ourselves wish to be treated. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Randee. And now, Araya.
Good morning. I'm going to be calling in the directions. So stand and face the east. Hear me, guardians of the east. Great Spirit, Archangel Raphael, the element of the air symbolizing spring, new beginnings and the breath of life. We are thankful for the light of the rising sun. Let there be light on the path that we walk. Bring light into our hearts and minds so we may begin anew each morning, acknowledging new life and creativity and renewed hope for each day. Restore our body and mind, renew our energy, align us with the youthful vigor of spring. Turn and face the south. Guardians of the South, Great Spirit, Archangel Michael, the element of fire and summertime, a time of transformation and energy. Bring warmth into our hearts and friendships and all our relations. Bring us protection, strength, passion, truth, and the courage as we work towards transformation, divine action, creative expression, justice in our worlds, and live our lives fully. We thank you for the spark that burns within us all. Let us remember to dance. Turn and face the west. Guardians of the West, Great Spirit, Archangel Gabriel, the element of water representing flow, introspection, and deep feeling. The time of year is autumn and the setting sun, a time of letting go. We call you today and thank you for your gifts you give to our lives. We thank you for the water surrounding us, from our mother's womb to the waves of the ocean, from a sprinkle of rain to an intense waterfall or even a hurricane. The blood in our veins and the tears in our eyes, you give us emotion, love, dreams, imagination. You cleanse and heal us. Thank you for being here with us today and always. Turn and face the north. Guardians of the north, the stable and nourishing element of earth. Great Spirit, Archangel Uriel, where fierce storms come from the north. Give us strength, wisdom, guidance, and endurance for everything that is harsh. We thank you for your gifts and blessings in our life, the food that nourishes us, the homes we live in. We give thanks for our bodies and their abilities to sustain us, to feel pleasure, and to dance upon the sacred ground. As winter brings time of reflection and going inward, ground us deep into Mother Earth. Bring us inner peace and understanding. And then turning above to the sky, Great Spirit of the sky, the celestial energies of the sun, the moon, the stars. Come, Great Spirit, Archangel Metatron, teach us to fly high with the eagle, to see wisdom and perspective in life. Bring the Christ consciousness into our hearts. Giver of all life, we pray to you from the earth. And then looking down to our great Mother Gaia, come, great spirits, and Archangel Sandalphon from below, where all plants find their roots in Mother Earth. Teach us to remain grounded and thankful for the gifts of the Mother and to treat her with respect. Teach us to care for all creatures, great and small. Bring the love of Mother Earth and all ancestors into our hearts. Help us to remember that we are connected to all life, the great web on this planet. Help us to be a bridge between heaven and earth, connecting the physical plane to the great one divine. And crossing our hands over our heart. Come, great spirits and angels from all 6 directions, including our own true divine nature. Come into our hearts. Gather in our hearts and make them full with aliveness and energy, filled to overflowing with love, gratitude, and generosity. Aho and amen. So it is. Thank you.
Thank you, Araya. Well, dear ones, we have entered a new via, the Via Positiva. We've got all new music this quarter. Let us sing in the divine to an old Jubilee favorite from way back. I think some of you will know this for sure. If the feeling arises to do a little dancing around the altar or any moving in the pews, it's what we're used to doing here. Let's have some fun. To be alive and feeling free, and to have everyone in our family to be alive in every way. Oh, how great it is to be alive. Every day there's a new list, something else to do. The dawn of life is upon us, so let the gladness ring through. To be alive and feeling free, and to have everyone in our family to be alive in every way. Oh, how great it is to be alive. Wake up to a new sunshine, darkness no longer stays. For the new generation, we'll rock the world today. To be alive and feeling free, and to have everyone in our family to be alive in every way. Oh, how great it is to be alive, to be alive, to be
Hi, everybody. All right, here's our announcements. First one, just as a little heart. Steve Slater, the beloved husband of Louise Slater, passed away last Sunday. A memorial service celebrating his life will be held here at Rainbow next Saturday, the 28th at 2 p.m. All are welcome. If you have flowers from your garden to share, please bring them in a vase with your name on it. There will be a reception afterwards in the 6th grade classroom, and food will be provided. But if you'd like to bring light finger food, please label it with your name and important ingredients such as gluten-free, contains nuts, etc. If you can, volunteers are needed to set up and for cleanup, and see Susie Davis to sign up for that. Now, Laura Lurcher is rescheduling the building party for her ceramics studio. The times are after the Sunday celebration on June 29th and the morning of Saturday, July 5. And see, yes, ma'am.
If anybody wants to come at 8 a.m. on Saturday, we're going to work in the morning and leave plenty of time to get here for the memorial celebration.
Okay, so now you know where Laura is, if you want more details. And plans are moving forward for an 8-day service trip to Jubilee House in Nicaragua at the end of February 2026. So there will be a planning meeting at 12 noon today under the tent by the 6th grade classroom if you are interested in going, and also see Susie as the contact. The social justice team is holding a meeting at the picnic tables right after today's Sunday celebration, and everyone is invited. Bruce Mulkey is the contact. And Jubilee is sponsoring Asheville FM's Women for Climate and the Environment event at Rainbow at 2:30 after today's celebration. Speakers include July 20th. Oh, July 20th, sorry. Yeah, okay, after July 20th. That's a long time away. Okay. Speakers include North Carolina Senator Julie Mayfield and others. Jubilants are encouraged to volunteer to take part in our community-led Sunday celebrations. If you would like to do the welcome or lead the meditation, contact Lynn Orndorff over there. And to share a gift, speak with Susie. And to read the announcements or call the directions, see Michelle. To serve as a prayer partner during communion, contact Diane DeWitt. Details and contact information for these announcements are on the back of the bulletin and on the homepage of the website. You are all invited to the coffee hour after today's celebration in the 6th grade classroom. And that's it for Jubilee in Action this week. And may we all have a thriving summer together.
The hunger basket is on the table, and as we've been doing for many decades, if you feel like coming up and dropping in, anything at all, 100% goes out to help those in need in our region. Let us sing an oldie but a goodie. We all know this one. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer up danger, I'd hammer up warning, I'd hammer up love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, if I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, if I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning, I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out warning, I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land. Ooh, if I got a hammer, and I got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's a hammer of justice, it's a bell of freedom, it's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters, all over this land.
Good morning, Jubilee. I'm Elizabeth Likis.
I'm Araya Hansen.
On April 27th, the members of the Discernment team, if you remember, led the service and invited everyone present to join in our collaborative process to reflect and listen for the divine spirit. We broke into 10 groups, including our online folks that got to participate, and each of the Discernment team members facilitated one of those. If every member of the Discernment team could just raise your hand or stand up. We've got Michael Smith, Araya, me, Rose Bader, Maureen Linneman, and Portia and Lynn Orndorff. Did I get everybody? So part of that Sunday was to demystify what we've been doing and to invite you into that process. So we asked you to answer the question and share your thoughts related to Frederick Buechner's quote, "We are called to that place where our great joy meets the world's great hunger." We gave you a question in those groups, and we asked you to consider, what is Jubilee being called to right now? And today we'd like to share the results of that process. 61 jubilants wrote on sticky notes, and the Discernment team met, reviewed them, discussed them, grouped them into 8 themes. We're going to present the 8 main concepts and what they include. I'll do the first 4 themes, and Araya will do the next 4, and then talk about next steps. Okay, good. That's up there. Just wanted to make sure. The first theme and the most prominent, the most people that mentioned this in their responses were community and connection. Not surprising. But that means things like radical inclusivity. Everyone is welcome here. sort of think about these as almost like our core values. Where are we being called to? Belonging, companionship, building deep and meaningful relationships, creating safe spaces for gathering and sharing, healing divisions, and isolation. Isolation was mentioned a lot. Our second theme was around social justice. Again, not surprising. This included remarks about actions for social justice, addressing poverty, homelessness, hunger, other issues, inclusion, diversity, our theme for today, and including actions like volunteering, protests, community service. Our third theme was love, compassion, and kindness, and that included things like helping each other see and be beacons of love, peace, and light. Yep, I need to advance that, don't I? Oh. Yes, love, compassion, and kindness. There it is. Spreading that kindness and care to one another and in the community. Meeting fear with love. That's so important, vital right now, especially. Radiating compassion, not just the feeling, with action. The fourth theme is music, dance, and creative expression. And those included all your comments about dance, music, art, having communal singing opportunities, spirituality expressed in creative ways, and playfulness and joy.
Okay, the next category was spiritual growth and open-mindedness. Creation spirituality is the foundation of Jubilee, that all life is sacred and interconnected, that we cannot possibly be separate from one another. And quantum physics is actually bearing this out as truth. Healing practices and meditation, exploring the mysteries and spiritual truths, and providing alternatives to fear-based religion extremism. The next category was the nature connection and earth justice. And this included having nature as a place for spiritual connection, outdoor gatherings, earth wisdom guiding the community, earth care and conservation. Our next category was support for mental and emotional health, helping people through emotional struggles, dealing with fear, anxiety, and burnout. We all had a lot of that in the last several years. Creating spaces for emotional healing and resilience, and joy as a form of healing. The next category was youth and future generations, aware that Jubilee has traditionally been more of a mature membership, that we want to build bridges and trust with younger people, that we are open to all ages, families, children, animals, and our future vision for where are we going from here. And then we created a word cloud graphic that highlighted what Jubilee really stands for. So you might just take a peek and look at that and see what resonates to you from the words you see out there. And if you want to call it out, feel free to just call out what speaks to your heart right now. And what's really amazing is that we looked back at one of these word clouds from years back, and the core principles of Jubilee have been very consistent over time. This is really kind of refreshing us and making us aware that we still care about all of these things. That hasn't changed. And then next, we want to look at where do we go from here with everything we've discerned and gleaned. Well, we want to keep listening to each other, to you, to us, to all of us, to solidify who we are at our core values and who are we called to be as a community, in our community, in the greater community, and also to create more opportunities for small groups to come together to share, that everybody wanted to have more opportunity to share and to connect with each other in small groups. And so we just want to let you know, after the service, members of the discernment team will be at the coffee hour. We do have the board with all the sticky notes that everybody wrote on, and you can take a peek at them, you can add to them, you can, participate in a way that perhaps feels like a call, like your heart is calling you to do. So please connect with us, communicate with us, let us know what's on your mind and your heart. And we want to keep this growing and not let this be the end of it. This is just the beginning. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Araya and Elizabeth, and the whole discernment team for all of that. It's so wonderful to see our values and our intentions written out so clearly. So let us stand now. It is time to sing our peace song. Midway through, you'll be able to greet one another with a smile, a handshake, a hug, whatever you're comfortable with. We got a new song for the quarter. I think you know it. Give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth. Give me light, give me life, keep me free from birth. Give me hope, help me cope with this heavy load. Trying to touch and reach you with heart and soul. Share a holy peace, everyone. Daniel Barber, we're ready for you. Everybody. If you can release one another long enough, we're going to feature Daniel Barber right now with a song.
Everybody. Woohoo! Ow, ow! It's so great to be here. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you. And thank you, Paula, for helping out. approaching, longing, curious, wanting to be set free, leery of touching the latch to the dungeon of demon and dream, swirled and fused in a survival tomb. Oh, brother, here we go again. I bring with me all that I can now. Oh, let the water soak on in.
It's a breath. Feel the breath. In the breath, holy. It's a breath. Feel the breath. In the breath, holy.
Here we are,
Dreamers of the galaxy,
come this far.
started smaller than a flea.
Water, earth, fire, and wind conspire, heaven's desire.
How I wonder what can be.
Spirit shine,
Embodied, enthralling,
love divine.
consciousness crawling.
Souls align, loving hearts entwined, grand design.
What could be calling?
What created gravity? What tact does this force require? Broken, bruised, and battered, forged, respiraled in a blazing pyre. Now sing us all together. Divinity formed in matter, where two or more are gathered, remembering. Here we are,
Dreamers of the galaxy,
come this far.
started smaller than a flea.
Water, earth, fire, and wind conspire, heaven's desire.
How I wonder what can be.
Spirit shine,
Embodied, enthralling,
love divine.
consciousness crawling.
Souls align, loving hearts entwine, grand design.
What I wonder what
What created gravity? What tact does this force require? Broken, bruised, and battered, forged, respiraled in a blazing pyre. Now sing us all together. Divinity formed and mattered, where two or more are gathered, remembering. Here we are,
Dreamers of the galaxy,
come this far.
started smaller than a flea.
Water, earth, fire, and wind conspire, heaven's desire.
How I wonder what can be.
Spirit shine,
Embodied, enthralling,
love divine.
consciousness calling.
Souls align, loving hearts entwine, grand design.
What could be calling?
Moment come,
Moment after moment,
moment gone,
gone forever.
forever and ever, always and
breath.
ever, forever and
Feel
ever,
the breath.
always and ever, forever and ever, always and ever here.
And as we go into our meditation time and prayer time this morning, As always, there is communion at the Western Wall, if you so choose. If you need support with prayer, please go back there. There are people there to hold you, to listen to you, to give you whatever you need in support.
Once upon a time, before time, beforeness, there was an idea. A lyre got played. A song got sung. And God said, bang! What's going on? This doesn't make sense. This is overwhelming. I can't believe this. Primordial soup. Children of God. Certain inalienable rights. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. Why doesn't somebody do something? Hey. Can we talk? So I'll read these ancient words. From some psalmist a really, really long time ago, before we knew about quantum mechanics, before we knew how connected we actually really are. Behold, how good and pleasant it is when brothers, and I'll add sisters, and neighbors dwell in unity. And from the Tao Te Ching, which is also written a heck of a long time ago, the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. The nameless is the beginning of heaven and earth. The named is the mother of the 10,000 things. And from Rumi, you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop. Thanks be to all. No, this is ancient wisdom and holy word. Thanks be to all that is wise and holy. All all creation speaks. I had it before I came in here today. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings of wisdom and God. Hallelujah. Uh-oh, my timer. better make sure we have that. Oh, it's 11:11. Woohoo! Unity. All right. So it's a real treat to get to be here, y'all. It really is. It's a real treat. It was so great to get to do this World Beat Band gig for like 20 years and play such really, with so many amazing musicians and hide behind the piano out there, which is surrounded by really good musicians, and playing stuff like For the Beauty of the Earth and Everything is Holy Now and Pinball Wizard and Let's Get It On, Sympathy for the Devil. We were the only church that played Sympathy for the Devil that day. Yeah. And so now today my gig is to get up here and say a few things that might get you to think a little bit. And your gig is to try to refrain from yelling out BS whenever the urge strikes you, because then it would just get to be, and it's just not neighborly. So. And what I'll try to do is to leave you with a couple of things that might help you along the way. And this is definitely, I had so many ideas, and I've got some pages of notes that makes things look really orderly, but that's just a total facade. And so I have no idea. I'm really looking forward to finding out what I'm going to say. So this is really an object lesson in walking by faith and not by sight. So what if, and just let this sink in, just let this sort of sink in there's like 2 or 3 phrases here. What if the fate of the world was dependent on you? And the only thing that called of you was the fulfillment of who you really are. So what if the fate of the world is dependent on you, and the only thing that calls of you is the fulfillment of who you really are? And so that's a kind of a interesting thought experiment, but what do you do with that, right? How do you turn that into something that's meaningful or helpful in any kind of way? So I propose that the most essential skill that we can possibly learn is to navigate the unknown with mastery. And I'm going to say a couple of things about that today, but I have some tips that I think can be helpful with that. But typically what we do is that we try to turn unknowns into knowns, right? It's like there's this thing out there we don't know. Well, okay, the way that we can deal with that is by turning it into a known. I need to learn that thing. If I can learn that thing, then I can, if I can go to this school and then I can, well, if I can do that, then I can, right? And so that's our strategy often, at least that's my experience in this culture of how you succeed, is that you learn. And then at some point when you know enough, you can be yourself and you can offer your gift to the world. And I propose that actually, if we flip that on its head and learn to be okay with the unknown, then we have a completely different angle on which to engage with the world. And so I'll say a couple of things about that. One is that we do know now, at least our best minds who have been looking at this reality thing really hard for a long time, the best minds are saying that the nature of reality is that there's energy and there's matter and they're just trading places with each other all the time. Probabilistically, they can't even figure out what's going on because when you look close enough at it, it changes on you, right? So there's no way in hell
or heaven to know reality well enough to understand it so that then you can, right? So, and they are saying that 95% of the matter and energy in the universe is dark matter and dark energy. So all we can even detect is 5% of what is. And that's with our best instruments and blah, 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 right? So, and so another way to think of it is like, think of somebody that you know really, really well. Like, you know this person better than anybody. You know them really, really, really well, okay? Got somebody in mind? What are they thinking right now? Right now. When could it be more important than to know right now? And you have no idea. It's like, this is just a tiny little example of the extent to which we have no idea what's going on, right? And so I have I have so many stories, and they're all jumbled up in my head right now, but the thing that wants to come next is this, this experience that I had one time in my office, and my computer was crashing. And it was, you know, I was doing something world-shattering. It was super important that I continue to finish this little project, or else everything would fall apart. And it crashes, and I'm like, ah. So I turn it back on. It takes, you know, 4 days to boot back up. Finally, it's back up, and I start in again, and 15 minutes later, it crashed again. I'm like, oh. So I turn it back on, and finally it, you know, came back up. I'm working some more, and it crashed again. And I just went into a rage. It was more than I could handle. I just leaned over, and I was like, why would this be happening? You know, and, like, ah. And this little voice goes, so that you can learn to love it. Learn to love it? And I knew instantly that that was the only possible answer. It wasn't like, so you can learn to tolerate it, so you can learn to not just get totally pissed off whenever, you know, it's like, it wasn't any of that. It was so that you can learn to love it. And so that was just a real kind of a soul shaker, right? It's like, oh, whatever it is, oh, it's there, it happens so that you can learn to love it? It's like, what other answer could there possibly be, actually, if we want to be practical, if we want to be realistic? Like, the best way through is learn to love it. And so, another thing I'll say here at this point is that we spend so much of our time trying to be really, really smart. You know, I was a good student. I've got a master's degree. I went to school for quantitative statistics. I mean, I'm capable of a lot of complex thinking. But a few months ago, I'm doing something in the kitchen. I forgot what it was, and I think I put some salt in instead of sugar or something. I don't know what it was, but I really had this existential moment. You know, it was like, am I really, really smart or really, really stupid? And I really, really don't know. You know, it's like, I wouldn't have thought that we'd be in this predicament in, you know, history at this point. You know, there's a lot of, it was like, I'm probably way more stupid than I am smart. And, you know, it's like the humans have always thought we were the smartest ones, and dolphins always thought they were the smartest ones on the planet, and we always thought we were the smartest ones because of, you know, the wheel and New York and wars and so on. And that all that dolphins ever did was muck about in the water having a good time. And dolphins always thought they were the most intelligent form of life on the planet for precisely the same reasons. So it's like we really don't know what we don't know, and just allowing that can be a game changer. If we can let go of that need. So this first question that I've been talking about is kind of what's happening now. Like, what's happening now is a whole bunch of stuff that we don't know, and there's some things that we can kind of sense and play with. The second really question to look at for this is, who am I now? So who am I in the midst of this? And how do I know? How do I do it? Is that my name? Is that my history? Is it my grandparents? Is it my learning? Is it what I'm feeling right now? Is it what I'm thinking right now? And yeah, yes, it's like whatever it is that you are experiencing in this moment. And so to step into that a little bit further, we look at various ways to make sense or figure out what our truth is. And so most of what our brain tells us is stuff that we've learned. I did learn this in grad school in social psych class, is that everything that's in our thoughts is something that's learned. It all came from somewhere else. So that's not who we are, because that's all connected to all these other things, including, information that came through our genes and all that. That's information that came from the past. So it's all came from somewhere else. So what is true? Who am I? And how do I navigate that territory, not knowing really who I am and not having a sense of that? So right now I'm just sort of, having this experience of talking to you guys. I have the stuff that I was going to say. And then I'm having the stuff that I'm saying right now. So apparently I'm somebody who just sort of talks regardless of, whether he thinks he knows what he's talking about or not. And it just kind of, that's definitely part of my experience. I don't know if that's part of yours or not, but that's, so often what we do and where we come from. And the truth, it seems to me, in the midst of all of this complexity, can only be found in the present moment. That's the only place that truth that we can rely on for the rest of time, for eternity, can be relied on as something that comes right through the present moment. Because everything else is either a fantasy or a memory. And it's through these filters, these brain filters, that are unaware of what they don't know, right? And so all this other information is coming through a filter that's incomplete. It doesn't have the whole story. So the only place we ever have a shot at the real truth is right in the present moment. Always, 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 always. And so then what do we do now? I'm going to stop a minute. I'm going to take a little break and let's sing, "We Are Here." We are here. We are here for all of us. We are here for all of us. That's why we are here. Why we are here. We are here. And if we can remind ourselves to just do that from time to time, right? Just, here we are. And let that for whatever, maybe it just relaxes for a moment. Maybe it helps us let go of some of the stuff that we think we know just a little bit, so that we can be a little bit more present and allow things to happen, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. And that's probably a good thing. So another point that I'd really like to make is there's an idea that's floating around in the brain neuroscience world that the brain isn't a container. It's actually more of a transmitter and receiver. And when you think about it, you know how you listen, like listen to the radio or something on YouTube, and like you hear the first chord of a song, and you haven't heard that song for 40 years, and you know exactly what it is. It just jumps right to mind. So if you think about that data requirement for a brain to hold information to that degree is really kind of ridiculous. It actually makes more sense that it exists in some sort of a field around us, and that what we're doing is we're accessing information in the field, just like a radio. And so we know that radios work, right? And so why would it be hard for us to accept the possibility that what we're actually doing is we're just sort of these beings that are moving through this quantum space that's actually just energy and matter floating around. All this stuff is illusion, right? We know that, right? We know it up here, What if we allowed ourselves to really know it, that we're in this field of some sort, right? And so the memory that I have and the stuff that's coming to me to say right now isn't really all in here. I'm just sort of accessing some sort of an energetic flow that's saying, no, Daniel, say this thing right now, right? A story I would love to tell is that when it was in 1989, I was in grad school at Chapel Hill, and I went on a bike trip across the country. And on the way, I saw my granddad, who was 97. It was the last time I ever saw him. And we had a beautiful time, a couple of days together. And at one point, he goes, so where are you going after this? And I said, Austin. And he goes, well, have you ever been to Kinney, Texas? I was like, no. And he goes, well, your great-great-great-grandfather is buried in Kinney, Texas. And his name is John Wesley Collins. And he was a Methodist minister. And he was buried outside the east window of the church where he preached. I was like, oh. And so, cool. So when I left that day, I headed out there, and I got to Kinney, and by the time I got there, it was sundown and dark. And I thought, what is a tiny little town? It's like, how hard can it be to find the cemetery in a little place like this, right? So I pull into the street, the little main street there, and there's like, 6 or 8 buildings on it, and one big old building says, Kinney Store. And there were 4 people sitting out on the porch, just on rocking chairs. And so I pulled the bike up and pulled my helmet off and walked up and introduced myself. And they said, what you doing? And I said, well, I'm looking for my great-great-great-grandfather's grave. And he said, well, it's his name. And I blanked. It was like I couldn't think of his name. I was like, well, it's, and I thought John Wesley, but I couldn't remember the last name. And then I just sort of spit out Collins. It just came out. I actually was trying to say Collier, and then my mouth said Collins. And this guy goes, well, my great-great-grandfather was John Wesley Collins, and he was a Methodist minister. I said, that's the guy. And so we sat around and chatted for a few minutes, and, and then he goes, well, you want to go see him? I said, yeah. So we hop in his truck, and we go down, and then turns down this little road and drive down a little ways, and he turns down another little road, and then he turns down another little road, and then he turns along a field of corn. No, I said corn. It was sunflowers. And they're like this high, and he pulls up, and he pulls into the field of sunflowers, drives into the field. There's sunflowers all around us, and he stops, and he goes, it's over there somewhere. He goes, you afraid of snakes? I'm like, no. So we get out, and we look around, and I'm the one that actually found the gravestone, and he found another couple of family members' stones. And I got some pictures and stuff. And we go back, and I'm getting chills just thinking about it. We go back, and they went in, and we got a couple of beers, and I've got to wrap this. So, at one point, just sitting there chatting, having a nice time, and I said at one point, I was like, do you guys do this like on Tuesday nights? Do you guys, He goes, no, we hardly ever do this. This was the only person on the planet. He was the guy that actually was supposed to take care of the plot. And he was embarrassed and all that he hadn't been doing it. He had been in touch with my granddad a bunch over the years. The only person on the planet that knew where this thing was. And the fact that they were even there was very unusual. And so the fact that we're in a field of some sort is actually that's the experience that we've probably all had, right? I mean, that actually makes more sense than the sort of reductionist way that we often think, right? So what if we allowed ourselves to let that be what is, and opened up to the fact that a lot of it we don't know, and to love it, to learn to love it. Like, how cool is that, right? So I'll just leave it at that. And let's see here if there's anything at the end that if I don't say, I'll shoot myself. I don't want to shoot myself. Well, I mean, the diversity is all of it. That is the nature of this reality, is that the one beget the two, and the two begets the three, and the three begets the 10,000 things, right? So we are in the midst of this preposterously diverse experience of living. And to the extent that we can really learn to love that, and enjoy it and be grateful for it and thank the heavens for it for the time we're here, then that would really be great. And finally, I will end on this. I learned a few years ago that a radiation footprint from sound actually does travel through vacuums. And so if you go out and sing a song to a star at night, if it doesn't get interrupted by a planet or an asteroid or something, a radiation footprint from that song will reach that star. And so we matter in ways that we also have no idea. So pay attention in the present, listen to your truth, and share what you feel compelled to share. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Daniel Barber. An old friend back. We like that. All right, it's time to pass the bowls around. All the money that goes into these bowls comes back to us so that we can keep all of this going. Give what you can. Feel free to sing along to this one. Question that I really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save us on their lease? Yeah, everybody. One love, one heart. Let's get together and of our past. We accept and receive these gifts for the present moment and for the future. Jubilee, we accept your gifts with love, with appreciation. Thank you so much. May we thrive. Are you ready to sing yourselves out? This is an easy one. I know you'll get this one. How about some hands?